Hi, welcome to Alex Rocks. This is our 10th episode, so very happy birthday to us. Tonight we're coming from the Prince of Wales.
Beautiful Prince of Wales. What an amazing venue. Seen many great band play there. It's about to launch out again very soon, so can't wait. Tonight we'll be talking to Ben and Lou from Locus, and I'll be talking to Jenni from Riff Raiders.
And tonight I'll be talking to Kim Salmon, who's created some of the greatest music that I've ever heard. But right now we're going to Marky, who's interviewing Jenni from Riff Raiders.
Today, all right, we have got on Alex Rocks Jenni Powell from Riff Raiders.
Hello.
Hello. All right.
Hello.
Hey, thanks for coming on board.
I'm very happy to be here.
Tell me what's happening with Riff Raiders, you know?
Well, you know, it's been a bit of a crazy year for the whole world, and you know, we've been able to ride that a little bit, which has been good. So we released an album.
Yes.
Well, in fact, we can even go back a bit further.
May I?
Yeah,
May
please,
I?
yes, by all means.
Here it comes. Here it comes. Oh yes, Riff Raiders.
This is it. Rock and Roll Daydream.
There it is. There it is. Brilliant. We got what do we got? 11 tracks.
11 tracks.
11 tracks.
Rock and roll goodness.
And may I comment on, of course, the first release. You pumped out a single.
Yep.
On vinyl, which is absolutely outstanding.
Yes.
Okay, so it was Loaded Gun single, a single B-side as well.
Best day ever.
12-inch.
7-inch.
7-inch. Oh, it was single. It was the small Scots. Right, cool. Okay. The small, literally the real deal single.
Correct.
Okay.
That's right. So Loaded Gun, Best Day Ever, double A side, came out in February. We did a big launch at the ESPY, and we started off on our tour, which was going to all the eastern states. We were off to Sydney, Canberra. So the last show we played was in early March in Canberra. And after that, everything went to shit.
Yeah.
And the rest of it got cancelled, like everyone else in the world. So we're not special in that regard.
Right in the middle of... so what did... Okay, I mean, well, what did you do? I mean,
well, we were kind of lucky that, you know, we had this ready to go. We have... you know, new music to release in the time where, you know, there's so much uncertainty and all that sort of thing. So we ended up releasing, we had 5 videos made. So we had 5 videos from the album. There's 11 tracks, 5 videos. So there's a constant stream of new things coming from us, despite the fact we're not able to play live, which, you know, we love playing live. It's our, it's a whole other...
Oh, yeah. It's encouraging. I suppose it's forcing us, everyone to look at things differently.
That's it.
Shake stuff up a bit, and you know, and let's hope that, you know, when we can get out live again. Oh, look, I am absolutely positively sure that it has to, you know, create a more healthy live circuit. It just has to, because I mean, well, people for one are focused on what's happening in their backyards more, like tourism. You know, oh well, okay, we can't go to Bali this summer. let's see what our local you know, what can we do in Australia? Yeah, or you know, I think hopefully it will make sense for more venues to open their doors to original Australian music.
Yes, here.
I had a friend call me up the other day. He's got a fishing charter boat service.
Oh.
He was asking, can we put a lineup like a band lineup on the back of his his cruiser in the harbour.
Pontoon.
You know, well, you know, like,
Radio Caroline, eat your heart out.
I mean, yeah, like a year, 12 months ago. This wouldn't have happened, and things like that wouldn't have happened.
Yep.
And so, of course, it is good that people are thinking a little differently.
Yeah.
But look, bottom line, of course, we do want to get back to a healthy live circuit.
Yeah. But we also want to give our fans what they are craving as well. You know, these are the people who are...
Well, that's right.
You know, consuming the music and aren't able to get to live shows either. So, you know, it's about delivering that to them too.
Yeah. Get out there, support live music, get amongst it. It's really good for you.
That's it.
We got the video, the Riff Raiders video.
Yes.
You want to give us a shout out for that?
You'd like me to introduce said video?
Yes, please.
I can do that.
Please do.
Over
That's
here.
the one.
Yes.
Shout out.
Hello, I'm Jenni from Riff Raiders, and you are about to see the wonderful rock stylings of Loaded Gun.
and Louis from Locus. I first met these boys as scrawny young kids when they got off a bus about 7 years ago and walked into St Kilda. Hey, Ben. Hey, Louis.
Hey guys, how you doing?
How you going?
That was about
Very
6.5, 7 years ago. We were young, it was cool. We moved from New South Wales, came down here to kind of pursue the whole music thing and wound up in St Kilda.
Yeah.
And met some legends, and here we are today, 7 years later. So it's been really good in this band. We're approaching our sound in a little bit of a different way with this band, where obviously the hard rock elements of it are there, the hair flicking, the cool shows and stuff. But it's definitely more based around our noise, our samples. He has become crazy with his sound and his pedal board, and he's just adapted to. So he used to play the kit when we moved down. So he's now playing. Explain yourself, Lou. What do you play?
Oh, so yeah, was on kit in Kill Dirty Youth, obviously, and then I guess the story goes, we'll add a Kill Dirty Youth show, one of the last shows.
SB show.
And
SB show.
I wasn't playing drums, I kind of handed on the reins. And,
That's right.
I was there, obviously, to support the boys, and then it was kind of coming to an end anyway, just for natural reasons, and Benny just came up and was talking about like this idea he had, like, oh yeah, I'm like want to do this project called Locus, and I was like, oh, well, funnily enough, I bought a bass. It's like, oh, I'm looking for a bass player. Like it's meant to be.
All right.
The way it worked out was really cool.
Yeah.
It was
natural.
Yeah,
and you're saying samples too, so you're getting some electronic sounds in there.
Well, over the past 6 to 8 months. Because of not being able to do too much other than, write inside and send ideas through, with audio and video and stuff like that, we've been getting into the home recording thing, which we have been into before, but also just, certain bands of ours that we're influenced by, huge on samples, things from the 20s and 30s, old ads and things like that,
okay.
and
speeches.
Yeah, and it's kind of...
Anything.
If you throw something like that in before or after or even inside a song, it sort of creates a bit more of a, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, great dynamic.
Yeah.
Great sort of extra level of sonic sort of interest. It's
harder
fantastic.
to do live too. You sort of have to have maybe another instrument or even like a laptop or something live. So like as a rock band, as like just a dirty punk rock band, we're sort of stepping further for ourselves anyway. That feels like we're progressing. But because there's so much writing going on, because you've had so much time, it's sort of hard to put a song that you wrote halfway through 2019 paired with a song you just wrote yesterday and coming into 2020. So we feel like we need a couple of singles, we need a couple of EPs to release.
It's smart too, though. It's
3
smart.
tracks, right?
You can release more material, can't you? We're dropping singles, and they're going to end up on the album.
With new covers, with new. I feel like that's the thing. Every time a band releases something, you can make it a whole thing. With all this stuff that's been happening and the lockdown and everything else, I've been seeing some cool things on social media pages, like just people are setting up instruments in parks, like I saw one the other day in the Botanical Gardens.
Yeah, I know.
Bass, guitar, and I'm like...
Good sign. It's a good sign.
It's a great sign. It's a great sign.
Yeah.
What if my band or our band was to go and set up next to those kids? You'd probably scare them away, fair enough. But I think that the acceptance of just playing these instruments again, because
you're so right. They're the signs you got to see and pay
100%.
attention to.
Because we can't have any other acts from overseas, it's all these young kids.
Yeah, no, I've spoken to people who like Live Nation.
It is bubbling.
And other big corporations in the music industry. And we do see this as a time for a resurgence for Oz rock. Because if we can't bring internationals here, we've got the best fucking rock and roll in the world anyway.
Anyone who's watching this, you've got Suzi, you've got Marky. These are two pivotal people in the Melbourne music scene. So it's nice to have known them since the time we were younger. And it's nice that they have taken the new band on with, arms wide open. So it's nice.
This is all about Australian music, getting behind Australian music.
Kudos to you guys as much as any new band out there trying to do their thing.
Thank you so much for being here.
We love it.
Let's go to the new single.
New video, Locus video.
Yeah, it's Locus, and here's the clip, Gutless.
Hey, the
Hey.
great Kim Salmon. Welcome to Alex Rocks. I've followed your career since, I was a young woman. Let's not go too far back. But you've had a great influence on what the trajectory... Like, I grew up with, 80s prog rock, and then there was Guns N' Roses, and then all of a sudden...
Well, there you have it.
Something happened.
Straight away, you're listening to that prog stuff, something had to...
Something happened.
Something had to put you right.
But how the fuck did
the
a
fuck?
Perth band influence Mudhoney, Nirvana, everything that I learnt to love?
Yeah, this is all conjecture, really. I mean, people say this whole grunge thing, the G word, it just won't go away, won't leave me alone. So,
Sweetie.
but look, I don't know. We just did what we
Tapes?
did. We were kind of out. Well, yeah, that's right. There were some tapes that made their way over to Seattle,
Yeah.
and I think maybe Blood Red River might have been on a few people's turntable. But I kind of equate that with. I remember coming over to Melbourne, like, to be with the Surrealists,
Yes.
sort of in those early days, and round about that was about 1987 or something. And it seemed like every house in Richmond that I'd visit would have this Venom P. Stinger record on the
Yeah.
turntable. Every share house you'd go to.
Yeah.
And I sort of equated it with somehow maybe something like that happened where somebody got a copy of Blood Red River and then a few more people got it.
I think you're being a little bit humble, but yes, you certainly had an influence. And back to the, so that was the Scientists.
Yeah.
And that obviously influenced a lot of people around the globe. And then you got to work with the great Spencer P. Jones and Brian Henry Hooper,
Yeah, that was
the Surrealists.
Well, Brian's a Perth boy, don't forget. So,
Yeah.
we sort of... It was a small gene pool over there anyway.
But the Surrealists and the Beast of Bourbon, they overlapped a little bit. Like,
Well, yeah, the reason a lot of that was because the original bass player and drummer were actually members of the Scientists.
right.
It was Boris and James.
Yep.
And something happened where they couldn't do a tour,
Yeah.
and I had another band, and I just thought it might be a good idea to get
And
them in.
and that's when Tony and Brian joined.
Yeah, they
Oh
were
my
the guys in my
gosh.
band. So,
Wow.
and little did I know what a foolhardy idea that was.
Yeah, hi.
Claire Birchall, who's an
Great.
extraordinary talent on her own. She does backing vocals and guitars and synths in this band that I got, which it was called, around about the time of the bushfires, it was called Smoked Salmon. But
Yeah.
then when COVID hit us and everything was streamed, we called it Kim Salmon Against the Stream, because salmon's what they do,
Yeah, well, up
Yeah,
the river?
always, so,
You go up the river.
yeah, that's right. So,
But you did have a very extensive career in
Out of-
music before
and it's all been
you got
all
wrong.
mistakes. All of them were wrong. All of them were
Yeah,
mistakes.
that you
The
learned.
Scientists did it. We just never learned.
But you learn you spent a lot of time learning from, an
More like
early
you kind
age.
of do that, make these mistakes, and then you kind of theorise about it afterwards.
Yeah.
You talk it up. You put a spin on it, and you salvage it. And that's what I was sort of saying, because a lot of the great things happen by accident,
Yes.
and it's really what you're doing
I
when
think
you're
the
creating.
best things do.
What the what?
The best things.
Yeah. And when you're creating something, what you're doing is you're recognising something beautiful when it
Yeah.
happens, rather than trying to imprint some
Well, that's
bullshit on it.
it. How do you see the next few months for yourself?
Well, for me, I'm doing a solo run of shows because we're allowed to do that now. So just small venues, regional things, going to Mount Macedon, Castlemaine, and Kyneton just for a weekend. So got something booked for Perth, a couple of gigs there. We're going back to visit my mum because my old man passed away recently.
I'm really
so I've got to
sorry.
spend a bit of time with mum and.
Kim, Scientists, 1976 you were listed as the first punk rock band with Extremists.
That was, well, it must have been Cheap Nasties or something. Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And then it evolved into the Scientists.
Things got that way. I ended up being in a band
Yes.
called the Scientists. I suppose you could say it evolved into it, but
Yeah.
there were different guys.
Yeah,
What happened was I had this band called the Cheap Nasties, and
Yeah.
we used to fight all the time, and I left, and then a week later they reformed without me.
All the best bands fight all the time.
Yeah, but the best bands don't reform without their lead singer and then go on and become the mannequins.
Are you hinting about something about the Scientists with
No,
that?
no. The Scientist was really good. Scientist was great.
Is there any more work that might come out of that?
Yeah, well, we did a extensive back catalogue reissue a couple of years ago on a Chicago label called Numero, and that kind of kick-started us again. We were in suspended animation for so long, and we did a tour of Europe. We did we did 2 tours of USA, and then another separate show at a festival. So it seems like it was really happening, and then COVID hit us. But we did manage to get an album in the can at the end of last year, because we were inducted finally into the Perth, the WA, the Whammies Hall of Fame.
Yay!
And because of that, we were all in the one place, so we recorded. We got into a studio there and we recorded this album, and that's coming out on In the Red, which is a sort of a LA. It's an LA label. Kid Congo's on that, and
Sure. Well, thank you, Kim. But you're going to come back, aren't you?
yeah, we'll be back. We'll be back. I don't know when.
Well, we
Who
don't know
knows?
where.
Don't know where. Don't know when. But we'll meet again.
Thank you, Kim
Thank
Salmon. Hey, Olga, where are you coming from this week?
I'm out of this world, guys.
Fantastic. Look at you. Watch out. Watch out.
Meteorites everywhere, guys.
Is this a hint again? Are you trying to hint us?
It sure is,
What's
Suzi.
happening next week?
All right,
Nothing to do with dogs in space?
That's exactly right. So we've
There
got
you
Sam
go.
to Jessica from the ears and a lot more. Alex rocks, guys.
Yeah.
See you soon, sister. Okay, and thank you for joining Alex Rocks. We've got a lot more coming up next week, and it's good night from him.
Yeah, hello, goodbye. See ya. It's time to subscribe.
Rock on.